Hello world of YouTube, and welcome to the Slipknot Discography review. I know a lot of people are probably going to hate me for this video. I like Slipknot. I'm not gonna lie when I say that statement. First off, this discography review was requested by WhatUpDude96, who also requested the Korn discography review that I have to repost. But for those of you who have never listened to Slipknot, I would say they're new metal, but they kind of strayed from that style in the past couple of albums. But they kind of started off as a really heavy new metal band. I'm not going to review Mate, Feed, Kill, Repeat because I don't have it. It's a demo album. I know it's probably very different from the first album because half of the members that are in the band now aren't in the band. So I'm only going to review the 4 albums they have out. This will not take me that long. Let the hate begin. And the first time they released was self-titled. It was released back in 1999, and this album kicks you in the teeth with its opening. Sick is a fairly heavy song. Well, first off, it opens with that noise of the numbers, and then it kicks in with Sick, which is a fairly brutal kick in the face as a start. I don't want to say the niche with this band, but the thing that I think drew a lot of people to this band is that there were 9 members. Their bassist called Gray has passed, rest in peace, but I think that was the thing that really drew people to this band, and they crafted an interesting sound. They had songs that were just noise, like Tattered and Torn was kind of like that, and Prosthetics. I mean, they delved into creepy sounds, and then they had songs like this and Liberate that were just heavy. They had the melodic stuff like Wait and Bleed. They had songs like Spit It Out on the sound that were like where Corey was rapping. There was a lot of interesting stuff on this album. And on the original pressings, you had the song Purity, which is this dark, twisted, beautiful song, and it was scrapped on later releases due to the subject matter of the song. I believe it was written because Corey was inspired by the story of a girl being trapped in a box or something. And if you got the anniversary edition, it was on there, and that's when I had first heard the song, was the anniversary edition. And it's actually a very good song. This album, I think, helped change the game of metal in a way. It introduced a lot of different sounds into the genre, and whether people hate it or not, I think that they should at least be respected. A lot of people are going to disagree with me, but that's my opinion. My favorite song on the album is actually... my favorite song on the album is probably Wait and Bleed. A lot of people think that that's kind of the popular song to like, but it's a good song. The playing on this album is solid. I mean, this band actually has a lot of talent within it. Paul Gray was a great bassist. The guitars with Jim and Mick sound solid. There's not a lot of intricacy on this album. The one member of this band I feel that gets the most play on this album in certain songs is Craig, who a lot of people, I guess, don't even know what he does. But he does sampling and stuff, and I think he does a really good job with that on this. This album, I think, utilizes the most turntable than the rest of the releases, and Joey Jordison's a fucking great drummer. I mean, everything about this band, they just kicked the doors open with this awesome album. But like I said, favorite song is Wait and Bleed. Yeah. And the next time they released was called Iowa, which was released in 2001, and this album, I feel, is overlooked by some Slipknot fans, and that's because the next album is this just great magnum opus. This album really has some solid stuff on it. I just think it's kind of glazed over because a lot of this stuff is similar to the first album. It's just kind of the first album expanded. They work on the bounce a lot on this album, on like People Equal Shit, Disaster Piece, My Plague, and like Left Behind. They have a lot of just bounce on this album, which was rooted back to the new metalness. And this actually has my favorite Slipknot song on it, Left Behind. I think it's a great song. This song, like I said, it's a lot like the first album, just expanded. It's got a more solid playing. It's got a really good solo in Left Behind. People Equal Shit is a great build up to it. It's it's just another fantastic release that I think should be revisited by Slipknot fans. This song playing "I'm Hated" is a great showcase of the album sound, because it has the bounce, it has the travelingness to it, it has Corey's just angry vocals. He doesn't rap on this album, if I'm correct. I don't know why he stopped doing that. Actually, I probably know why, but they focused more on the jaw, which I can't do, but yeah. Would I recommend this album? I'd recommend this album. Actually, I'd recommend it in order. I'd recommend their albums in order, so I'd recommend you listen to this after the self-titled, because it kind of just... It's a good way to see this band transform. I mean, you can see that they're losing some of that elements from the first album, and they're just expanding it to a universal, central sound. My favorite song, like I said, Left Behind. Yeah! And the third album they released was called Volume 3 The Subliminal Verses, which was released back in 2004, and this is Slipknot's best work. And to be honest with you, I think it would be hard for them to top this album. It opens well with that prelude, and then it has the Blister Exists, which is this phenomenal opening track with that drum bridge that is well done with Chris, Clown, and Joey all just playing snares, with Joey adding a little bit of intricacy with the drum, or the snare and stuff. This song meshes their heavy stuff from the previous albums, just expanded even more with softer songs like Circle, Danger Keep Away, Vermilion Part 2. They do a great job of meshing that with songs like Duality, The Blister Exists, kind of The Nameless, but The Nameless has also the beautiful chorus. It has the weird song in The Virus of Life. Pulse of the Maggots is another one of those brutal songs. It's just a very well-constructed album, and I feel that they just had something special with this album. They wrote so beautiful of songs, like Vermilion just being this dark, twisted kind of love song. And, you know, Vermilion Part 2 following that up later on the album just adds a good kind of reprise that helps close the album. The playing on this album by Jim and Mick is fantastic. The solos they add on, like, Pulse of the Maggots, and on the intricacy within some of the songs, the little bit of intricacy that they add in certain songs is very well done. I commend them for this. This is my favorite Slipknot album, even though it doesn't have my favorite song on it. And my favorite song is actually Circle, because that's just a well-crafted acoustic song, or at least softer song, ballad, that a band like Slipknot wasn't known to do before, and I think they did a very good job with that. So yeah, Circle, favorite song. And the fourth, and I don't want to say last, but last album for a while by them was All Hope Is Gone, which was released back in 2008. And as a follow-up, this doesn't hold up to me to Volume 3. I don't want to say it's terrible. When I first heard it, I thought it was not good at all. But after I've listened to it for the past 3 years about, it's grown on me. The acoustic songs, or at least song, isn't as good as the previous album, which had more. They had some brutal stuff on here with All Hope Is Gone. They have some weird songs, unlike This Cold Black is a weird opening. Gayhana, however the hell you say that, is an interesting, weird song. Butcher's Hook is a little strange. I felt that on some points they tried to recreate Volume 3, which to me, you couldn't really recreate that album. It's just hard to do. It would be hard to do. They open it well with Gematria, however you say that. It's not a terrible opening track in comparison to, like, Blister Exists or Sick. It's I think they were just, like I said, trying to recreate, like on Dead Memories, that feels a bit like Duality, which as a song like that, you really can't recreate. I would say listen to this before Volume 3 so you can appreciate it more, but that... I think it might alter someone's opinion on Volume 3. There's just something weird about this album. I can't really completely describe it. The playing is solid still. Like, Jim shreds, and Mick shreds their asses off. Joey beats the crap out of the drums, and Corey's vocals, people like to hate on Corey. I don't hate his vocals. I think he's actually got a good thing going with his voice. Because he can do the screams, and he could sing fairly well. I think the one member that doesn't really get a lot of play, actually the two members that don't really get a lot of play on here are Craig and Sid. They got a lot more play in the early stuff. They don't really get a whole lot of play now, but I think they're trying to move away from what they used to be, but they still utilize Craig and Sid just in different ways. But yeah, I don't completely hate this album. It's just not my favorite. My favorite song on this album is probably Wherein Lies Continue, just because I like that, just that. It has a good, just, heaviness to it. But yeah, that was Slipknot. Hope this lived up to what you wanted, what up to 96. Each of these reviews was a lot shorter, because I had a lot to say, but I felt I said it all in a good succession. I have been Viralrak. You guys have good days, life situations, and I will see you another day. Pieces.